Hi, my name is Danial Durisic. I'm a former national golfer and I currently work in a government agency and I'm a golf coach.
So, Daniel, what was your ambition growing up?
Growing up, I've always wanted to be a professional golfer.
Why was that your ambition? Who inspired you?
I wanted to be a professional golfer because ever since I was a kid, I started golf when I was 6. I got quite good at it. And after that, after winning some tournaments, I wanted that to be my career choice.
Who's your favorite golfer of all time?
My favorite golfer of all time would be Tiger Woods.
So, Daniel, what is your occupation?
I currently work in a government agency, and on weekends, I coach golf.
What does the government agency do?
The government agency, it works mainly focuses on golf events. I focus on doing events, and I am the central person in terms of golf when it comes to the government.
Where do you attend secondary school?
I went to SMK Bukit Rahman Putra until I took my PMR. And Form 4, I went to Australia. I went to Hills International College, just on the outskirts of Brisbane.
Of all places in the world, why do you choose to go to Australia?
I primarily went there for golf. I went there a few years before and I played some tournaments. And I found out about a school called Hills International College, where one of the best Australian golfers ever, named Jason Day, went to high school.
Was that the reason why you chose Hills?
Yes, mainly. It has a rich history, and Jason Day is a proven product of Hills International College.
What makes Hills International School good for young golfers?
The accessibility and the facilities. There was great facilities all around in terms of golf specifically, and it's all in one place within walking distance. The school was there as well, so it just made perfect sense.
How was your experience at Hills?
It was great. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I enjoyed being in a different culture, being surrounded by Australians and also mainly a lot of Asians. The golf there was just completely different than it is here in Malaysia. And that's probably what I love most about it.
In high school, how did you balance your education and your golf?
It was being detail oriented, a great time management, and discipline. It was just, trying to figure out when you can study, when do you go to school, when do you practice, when do you do revisions.
What was a day like in high school for you?
A typical day for me, I would wake up around 7 a.m. Or 6:30. I would go out to the driving range and hit some balls. From there, I would go and have breakfast at around 8 a.m. For about 15 minutes, and I take a shower when school starts at 8:45, all the way to 3:25. And after 3:25, I get ready, I go and practice, I go to the gym, and then at night I have dinner, and then I have prep, which is basically a study group for the dormitory students.
What was the difference between high school in Malaysia and in Australia?
Up until grade 10, it was about the difference between Malaysian education system and Australia. It's not quite different, but where it differs is the teachers, the educators, their attitude towards sports. They were much more supportive of sports and education instead of just education like it is here in Malaysia.
Once you're done with high school, what was your qualifying exam for you to go to university?
For me, it was the SAT because I was looking to go to the United States of America.
Where did you attend university?
I went to University of Arkansas at Little Rock.
And what do you study at University of Arkansas?
I got my bachelor's in international business.
So, of all the countries in the world, why did you choose to study in the United States?
I wanted to go to America because of the golf scholarships they have over there and how competitive they are with golf.
Did you win a golf scholarship?
Yes, I did, under the athletic scholarship or athletic department.
Do you compete as a student athlete in the States?
Yes, I competed under the NCAA Division 1 or the National Collegiate Athletic Association, Division 1.
What is the NCAA?
The NCAA is an organization that handles college sports. If you look at NBA, they came from the NCAA, but for me, it was just golf.
What does it take to be an NCAA athlete?
It's a very subjective question. I started golf when I was 6, and I basically practiced about 3 to 4 hours each day for about 6 to 7 days a week.
How do you balance your golf and your education?
Well, apart from having a great support system, it was mainly discipline and great time management.
How was it settling into the United States?
It was a very weird, a little unsettling at first. It was quite scary, to be honest, going to a country that's very far away from Malaysia in a new culture. And to be honest with you, a little scary just because of being an Asian and also being a Muslim going to Arkansas, which is a Bible Belt state.
How did you find the prejudice surrounding the safety of people in the United States? How did you cope with that?
Initially, obviously, it was very scary. It was something new, something unknown. I had a mindset, or I was expecting the worst when I was going to America. But when I got there, it's not quite as what it seems. Now, when I say this, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It does. But for me personally, I never had to go through that, thankfully. I think the media portrays the terrible parts of it, but they don't really portray the amazing or the beautiful parts of America.
When did you represent Malaysia for golf?
I represented the country 2017 to 2019.
And what were the tournaments that you represented Malaysia in?
I played in quite a lot of tournaments, but the most notable ones would be I mainly traveled around Asia, and I played some of the country's amateur opens. But the most notable for me would be the 2017 Kuala Lumpur Sea Games.
How was it preparing for the SEA Games in 2017?
It was a lot of it was countless hours, a lot of effort. I remembered during Ramadan, we were practicing at the mines because that was the venue for golf, and I remember being out there for about 7 or 8 hours in the heat, but I was enjoying it. Now, apart from that, we played in some Asian countries tournaments, i.e., Singapore Amateur Open. I went to Taiwan. I went to Indonesia. So those were good preparation.
How do you manage the nerves when you were representing Malaysia?
I think obviously I've had a lot of practice and experience being in that situation. But for me, mainly it was remembering that I am doing this for my country, not for myself, and it's a great honor to just be able to do that, regardless, and regardless of the way I performed. I was extremely proud, and that was at the end of the day, that was the main thing for me.
How did it feel when you were walking into Stadium Nasional Bukit Jalil representing Malaysia at the SEA Games?
Apart from feeling patriotic, I was extremely proud of myself, and to me, it was just a surreal experience being, along with the contingent walking. Because as an athlete, if you're not a runner, you don't really get to go down at the stadium. You'll be in the stands. But for me, being able to walk in Stadium National Bukit Jalil with all the other athletes in front of the home crowd, it doesn't get any better than that.
How did it feel walking along the parade for the 2017 SEA Games?
It felt surreal being surrounded with with all the other national athletes in front of the home crowd. It doesn't get any better than that.
How did Malaysia do in the 2017 SEA Games?
Malaysia, as a contingent, it was the best SEA Games in history. In history, but for golf, for the men's, it wasn't too great. We didn't get what we wanted, but with the ladies, they won a bronze medal.
Was there a defining moment for you at the SEA Games?
For me, it was watching the ladies team make the last putt, which secured the bronze medal for the women's team in golf for Malaysia. And I remembered after the prize giving ceremony, just holding the medal, and I started crying because I wasn't able to provide Malaysia a medal.
Daniel, what was your proudest moment representing Malaysia?
I think in general, it was just playing in SEA Games in front of the home crowd. Um, I've played so many more bigger tournaments, better tournaments, but the fact that I was able to represent Malaysia at home in the SEA Games. It was amazing. My name is Danial Durisic, and thank you for watching Lepas Sekolah.